Okay, so I wanted to go over the Domestic Relations Financial Affidavit. This is a document that we need in pretty much any contested case that involves children. Um, a divorce case where we don't have an agreement, a legitimation, child custody, even a child support modification case where we don't have an agreement, we're going to need a financial affidavit. So I'm going to show you this. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. You should have received a copy of this or a link to be able to download this document. So let me go over with what I need you to do to help me get this thing prepared. So on this first page, it has a lot of biographical information, the style of the case, things like that, and some summaries down below. You don't need to do anything on the first page. I'll take care of it, okay? The second page has to do with your income. And there's a lot of questions that go into this. The easiest way for you to do this, and we need to submit it with your affidavit anyway, is for you to send me a copy of your last two pay stubs. If this is real early in the year, you might want to send me your the previous year's W-2 if you have those. We use the year to date on your pay stubs as a way to get an average monthly gross income and to see some of the other information that we need here. So also keep me informed if you have any of these other types of income. For instance, severance pay, trust income, capital gains, Social Security, disability, retirement benefits, any of these other kind of things, they're included in income. So we need to figure, or at least for child support purposes. So we need to know that information. Now, when we get to this third page, you're going to see number 4, assets. This is very important in a divorce because one of the things we do in a divorce is to separate assets. If yours is not a divorce case, this section is less important. I still want you to fill it out. I just don't want you to worry about every line, getting it down to the T. When in a divorce case, I want you to think about this one and give me as much information here. In the asset section, there's a way for you to designate that something is a separate asset of the husband or separate asset of the wife. That's important when we're doing an equitable division of property in a divorce. So you and I will talk about that. Go ahead and check it. Tell me why you think it might be separate, your separate income or your spouse's separate income, and then we'll talk about that, and I'll make sure we fill it out completely and correctly. Then the last section is 5. It's the average monthly expenses. So this is like your budget. Now, I want you to think of this budget as moving forward, not what your budget was when you and your spouse were together in one household, combining expenses and things like this. I want you to think of this, if this is a divorce case, I want you to think of this as what is your expenses, what are your expenses going to be going forward, okay? And everything here is average monthly expenses. So your power bill, if it's like mine, will be more in the summer and the winter and less in the fall and the spring. You average that out to get to an average monthly. Another few hints, you'll see there's gas under the household section. That's gas if you use gas to heat your home. There's a gas and oil section for your automobile, so keep that in mind. Then there's, on the next page, there's a section of children's expenses, and then your expenses. You're the affiant. So children's expenses, if you have daycare, if you have medical expenses, things like that. Now, the very bottom on the left there, you have other insurance. If you can see that. So the big thing there is health insurance premiums that you pay extra for the children. Okay, so if you work and you would pay $100 a month to cover yourself, but you pay $300 a month to cover your children, the difference there is $200, and that's the number that is going to go directly into our child support worksheets to give you credit for that. So that's an important number. You may need to reach out to your HR to figure that number out. So how much would you pay just for yourself? And how much do you pay to cover your children for family coverage or whatever it is? And you can do the same thing for dental and vision insurance there. Then your other expenses here. And then the last page is your payments to creditors. So if you have a credit card bill, if you have a car note, if you have some kind of signature loan you're paying on, and a divorce, if y'all were paying on it, because we need to divide it out. Okay, so if there's a section for joint, that's if you and your spouse or are jointly obligated on that debt, or if it's just your name or his name or their name. Now, a few questions about this. If you are married to someone else, not the other parent of the child, let's say your child has a step parent, something like that. That person's income is not included in this, so it is just your income. It's just the parent's income. So that's one thing I want you to know moving forward. So how to do this. Go ahead and fill it out. Don't worry about making it pretty. We're going to type it up and make it pretty when we get it from you. So fill this out. Get it back to us. I'll spend some time with it and make sure it's correct before we have you sign it. It is a sworn document, so we do need to make it as accurate as possible. Okay. Thank you for that.